The drive to get citizens to take the responsibility of ensuring the cleanliness of their environment into their own hands. It's called our own campaign, the Joy Clean Ghana campaign. So we know that 2 people were arrested in the process. So we'll also get you the latest on that when Mamavi sits down with Nancy Emefajradosi. But Nancy captured all in some great reports for the first day. We're bringing it to you.
One of the workers of a local eatery, angry that the AMA officials had discarded portions of the food, said to be unwholesome.
You put this thing under it to use it to prepare food for people to consume. So we are confiscating it and we will destroy it. In her face here, nothing is going back to the kitchen to be used for food preparation because it's possible it's contaminated. You can even see the face of it. Look at how it is. Look at this, look at that. All is in the kitchen there. That, what do you call it, chop box there, with dirty clothes. Some of this dirty, purified, very dirty, rotten face under the table under. Turn around, use it to prepare soup for us again. We'll just immediately prepare court summons for her, march her to court tomorrow, or we can even bundle her now, march her straight to court.
Notices were served to other food vendors sited few meters from the railway line and selling under insanitary conditions.
So we'll prepare you people to court. Whoever is responsible will come to answer there. Thank you. So Ismail, prepare them and let's...
Others did not have health cards, which qualify them to sell food.
Ismail, have you served them? You served them already? Okay. So take note of them. We are preparing them for court.
One of the places the team visited appeared to be a cold store for sachet water, with wires hanging dangerously.
Who has given you people service to the utility that you use?
Electricity. We have meters. That's it. We have about 10 meters. Or 12 meters.
10 meters here. Can we have an evidence of any bill being paid? Because this is unregulated area, so I doubt that you pay bills.
The leaders.
Some of the residents accuse the sachet water hawkers of failing to clean up the litter they generate.
Prior to be said, a Gumaha be said, I dear, Mother Oba no be fabi no the other, but they are promoting me. Mekoka say, Oman Bakus is your man, you ha, see a trip prior crap, pra say, or Montra prior or Mompra. Oka say, we do Atamaka say, and I over baby now will be by now, but Ubiquaka Chem say, Mamma made it and proud no need any woman and I didn't her.
The presence of the inspection task force in the community got many cleaning their surroundings, albeit to avoid arrest. At some of the places visited, such as the public place of convenience, the attendants were commended for the environmentally friendly technology they had adopted.
So looking at the content that gets into the drain, it means that the biosystem is functioning efficiently, because the discharge there doesn't look such as an effluent that is dangerous to the environment.
At Aveno, a resident was found dropping refuse in the Odo drain and was immediately arrested. His justification, though, was that was how the entire community disposed of trash. The task force agreed to spare the culprit only if the community would clean up the surrounding.
Papa iwe ofri Aveno ha or the ball kotu egu got amum na ye chine de baye. Aye nungu asema he fa Aveno community for mu penesa. We are taking him away. Mu pese yamfa na kwa mechanic sia. So I want to see brooms here, then you start to show a sign of cleaning the place, then I'll let us go.
They got to work immediately, promising to ensure that indiscriminate dumping of refuse will cease. These livestock sellers were also tasked to sweep the gutters or be made to face the law.
Let them come now, as we are here, let them sweep it now, before we don't go into paperwork. Now.
The second arrest was a lady who had abandoned residue from hedges she cleared close to the railway line.
Yeah, try to know on my medical sanka. And you bring a ball of phone at the stable and their cop. On one bar. On one bed, I'm sad, the chair, whom I two and about on my proper ball and in a one air dross, a boy and say, and then on my befa. And put a colonel or time where my friends don't catch a ball or so. Almost saying, remember. I bet from my parent say, say, baby fat in your brew, and also meant to come out, what didn't say.
The task force, however, insisted she had to clear the refuse.
We've arrested her. She's in our van there. We're going to put her in cells, and then she'll be prosecuted. And her bail is subject to the collection and cleaning of this place thoroughly. That is, if she's able to clear the waste, the mess here, tidy up the place to the satisfaction of AMA, we can use our discretion either to bail her or we continue to prosecute her ahead.
Inspector Joseph Asitanga was happy with the amount of work they were able to do and expressed optimism the campaign will yield the desired results.
Very successful, very, very successful, impact achieving, and a lot has gone into the community. All the business environment have heard of our presence today and the need for them to keep their environment clean.
The task force may next be in your backyard, so you are better off cleaning up now.
And that's the Joy Clean Ghana campaign. Started off yesterday. Yesterday was just day one. And like Nancy Emma Fajiradosi said, ending that report, you better clean your environment now because you never know the day that they would be in your home, your workplace, wherever. Nancy joins me after that tour yesterday. Nancy.
Hi, Mama V.
The discoveries, some of them were very scary. The food, and I was wondering, you were there live, we've seen the pictures, but explain the whole situation to us.
So we got to this popular food joint. We didn't have a name on it, so I can't specifically mention its name, but it looked neat from the inside.
Okay.
And then the inspector asked that, we go to where you store your stuff. So we opened the storage. It was a cupboard. So once we opened it, there was blended ginger. There was blended ginger in a bowl, a dirty bowl. And part of it had poured into the cupboard with rags in there, with slippers in there. So you had everything in there. So the inspector asked that we bring that particular the portion of the food out. And Mama V, the containers looked
That's
dirty.
what we see. What was this?
So this is a flask where they keep the fishes. And they had kept this there for days, that washing it, so there were maggots in there. And these were directly under the place, the food, where they sell the stuff. So it was,
what were they selling? What's the
so they sell
the finished food that they were selling?
So they have banku, the fufu. So it's like soup kind of thing. Yeah. And that was the condition. And the inspector said, no, there is no way I'm going to give this back to you. You can't sell this to anybody. So immediately he asked his sanitation officers to take them out and then just go and dispose them off. And the woman got angry. In fact, she called people to come and help her insult the officials. And that angered the inspector and actually called for her arrest. And so they'll be going to court very, very shortly.
So what's the charge? Because so essentially they were going around to inspect whether or not people were keeping their surroundings neat. So if they find you, what did they say? Because I saw him asking for a health card and all that.
Yes. Okay, so let me talk about the health card, then I'll link it to the... So the health card, basically, if you sell food anywhere in this part of the country, you're supposed to have a health card. That shows that you do not have any communicable disease, that you're clean, you're not selling anything that is not, consumable. And so for most of these people, they do not have the health card. Yes, they agree that they have been educated by the AMA, but they did not take the initiative to get those cards. And so what happened is that the man sent them with notices. Now, these notices, it means that they're giving them just 48 hours to go and then make sure that they have the health card, they've started the process, they've improved the sanitation situation around there. And then these officials will, go to the community unannounced and then check whether or not you have improved on the sanitation situation. If that has happened, then you're free. But if they find that it's still the same or worse, then they now process you to go to court.
Okay, but within that 48 hours, you can still continue to sell?
Yes, you can continue to sell.
Okay, so I guess those they closed down or acted immediately were those areas where they thought this is absolutely not safe for anybody to sell in this environment or eat from a place
here.
like this.
Exactly. So example is the shop, the one you just saw with the dirty flask and all of that.
So what was this? I know you went to Okankwe South, but what's the
circle around Las Palmas, the railway line thereabouts. That place we had a lot of food vendors, and almost, in fact, all of them did not have the health card, even though they knew that they were supposed to have it. Some of them sold just few meters away from the railway. So they were asked, if the trains are coming, what do? They said they carry the things and run away. Then when the train leaves, they come back. So they know that what you're doing is wrong, but they insist being there.
Interesting. You went to several other places.
Yes. Let me talk about one interesting place that we went to. We went to Aveno.
Okay.
And when we got there, the inspector saw a gentleman throwing rubbish into the odor drain, or just
right there. So this happened.
There, we just caught him right there.
Okay.
And then he said, okay, so a lot of community members, they throw the rubbish there and all of that. I said, really? Then the man said, okay, I'm going to arrest you. Then the community members started begging that please don't take him away. The official said the only way I'm going to release him is if all the community members come down, sweep this place, get rid of the huge garbage you've all created and all of that, and then I'll let him go. Mama V, in less than 2 minutes, the entire community were back.
Really?
Yes, with brooms, with rakes, working to get the place neat. Yes.
So this was because he had threatened to arrest the person.
In fact, he had already taken the man away. And so the bail condition was that they clean the place and then he'll set the man free.
I'm tempted to ask, where did they finally put that refuse they collected after clearing what happened?
So they said there's a station at Aveno, and they all know the station. But because they say it's a bit far, they don't want to go there. So yesterday, the man made sure that after gathering that rubbish, you should march straight to Aveno to go and dump it.
This is interesting. and I think what I find interesting, I mean, even from videos before, people actually know what the right thing to do, they know what the right things are, but they simply just refuse to do it. Where somebody finds a refuse container, there's a dust bin right there, but she decides to pour her refuse meters away, just empty it there.
Yeah, we saw one situation at the circle around the OA station. In fact, there are like 5 dustbins there, Mama V, but you not believe it. People dump the refuse just behind the dustbins when the dustbins are just there. And the station manager says, I don't have any control over it. I'm in my office. People are dumping their refuse. I don't know anything about it. But they were charged.
Okay, because that was within their space as well.
Exactly. So they were served. So one interesting thing also was that people that saw the officials coming, going around, they heard that people were in. So they started collecting their things. But we also saw people who were doing very well. For instance, we went to a public toilet. And you'd have expected that public toilets, it would be in a certain condition. But they were using biogas.
Okay.
Yeah, and so
this was also within the same vicinity, the Aveno area?
No, within Circle. In fact, Circle, Market, thereabouts. And they were using the biogas system, and so the sewage that was coming out into the drain was quite clean.
Okay.
And so the inspector was also lauded them and said they had done well.
Okay. So this is not just pointing out the negatives.
No.
Trying to catch people doing the wrong thing and punishing them, but also acknowledging that there are people who are doing good.
Exactly.
Okay. So how many places did you visit?
So we split into two teams, because if we all had to go to one side, it would have been draggy and all of that. But our team were able to visit more than 20 shops, food vendors, and then homes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Oh, so you went to homes as well?
Yes, we went to homes as well.
What did you find?
So in the homes, some of them were quite neat. Some of them saw us coming, and so they started cleaning. So obviously you get there, and you don't get anything accumulating together with. But then it was basically just our residents that went to dump the refuse. That's where we actually got.
So this is again a matter of people knowing what the right thing to do. They know what is right, but they won't do it until they see that some officer is coming.
Yes.
And that's why the question of how does the AMA sustain this also come into the picture? We have to see people really punished so that they don't return to it, so that others can learn. Because
the plan is also that if they are going to court, so for instance, tomorrow, 48 hours, they're supposed to be taking some of them to court, would go with the team and then make sure that we would be there to take coverage of it, to get to the final conclusion of the matter.
Okay, so you're in court tomorrow?
Yes.
To follow up on those?
On those that were arrested, those that were served notices, but didn't come to the office to come in. Yeah. So we would follow up on all of that, and then hopefully we'll get to the bottom of it, and then the country can become clean again.
Yeah, so there's 2 teams made up of how many officers? So
the officers, we had about 6 on our side and also 6. So we had sanitation, the Inspector Asitanga.
That's the lead. That's the team lead.
Yes, the team lead, very strict man. The others were those who help, discard the sanitation officials. Yes, yeah, and those who would give you the notices, those who sign and all of that. So it had a complete.
Okay, were the police?
No, but they have the AMA task force.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were following us with the cars, the vans. So when get them, you are arrested. They put you in there and then they take you away.
Okay, interesting. I want to ask where you're going next, but that's something that you will say, right?
No.
Since you're a member of this task force.
Yes. Our job is to make sure that you are clean and not only become clean when we are coming. You should be clean where you are.
Okay. Listen, but this is daily. This exercise is going on every day.
So for the AMA aspect, it's going to be daily, but for JoyNews, we are doing it on every Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, so that we're able to keep the momentum and sustain it.
Okay. All right. So we will look out for the court appearances and the charges.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Okay. Tomorrow, Friday, you're in court.
Yes.
All right. So that's Nancy Emefa Jiradosi. She is our task force officer for the Joy Clean Ghana campaign. That's our campaign. This is all in the spirit of keeping, either our homes, our places of work, the places where we eat, our surroundings generally clean. So the AMA is watching and they're coming to get you. The only way you can be free is if you keep your surroundings clean. And we hope that you don't wait for an officer to come, or you hear there's an officer coming before you do the right thing. Let's all do in our little ways, keep our surroundings clean, and we will be safe from trouble. So Nancy, we'll look out for the court's situation on Friday, tomorrow Friday. All right.